Something I recently started thinking about is how other people perceive me as very quiet. People think I'm just like quiet and I don't talk and I'm not social, which is not true. The thing that gets me is that I don't feel like I'm a quiet person because I'm constantly having conversations with myself in my head. Silent conversations in the background of other people's conversations. And therefore, it feels like I'm constantly saying something. It feels as though I am constantly articulating the way I feel and think about myself and the world around me, while simultaneously saying nothing at all. So when people go, "Oh, Marley, you're so quiet, like why don't you ever talk?" I'm like, oh, am I quiet? Like, I know I'm not saying anything, but in my head it feels as though I am articulating the way I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about, and I have to remember that I'm not actually speaking out loud. Hello, lovely weirdos of the internet. Today I have another unscripted video. I'm going to be talking about thinking too much. People who think too much about things that may or may not matter. I'm one of these people. Hi, my name is Marley, and I think too much about things that I find important, but to other people may not be that important. Before we get into it, subscribe if you can relate to anything. Actually, don't subscribe. Don't subscribe. Only subscribe if I provide value to you in any way whatsoever. If you can relate to what I'm saying, if you go, "Oh, he thinks like that too." If you have any of those moments at all, like the video or subscribe, or okay, I'm gonna shut up now. So most of my friends know me as somebody who likes to talk about growth. Like, I have muscles, okay? And a lot of people automatically assume like, "Oh, weird, striations are crazy." People automatically assume like, "Oh, you're just a musclehead who talks about making gains and getting big in the gym." But really, that's not who I am. Like, that's an attribute of mine. That's something that I physically look like, but there's so much more on the inside that I wish to portray to people who can see me and talk to me. And a lot of that is because I think a lot. I spend a lot of time alone with my own thoughts, dissecting my own brain, and therefore I'm very content with who I am as a person. I'm okay with the person that I am. I don't need to be around people. I don't need outside validation or confirmation that I'm enough. I know I'm enough. And it's been like that since I can remember. I had very minimal friends. I didn't really talk to people. I talked to myself. And in person, I'm kind of a quiet person when I'm in a group of 3 or more people, because oftentimes I just take the back seat and listen to other people's conversations and find pockets where I can add value. This is off topic now. Anyway, about thinking too much. I used to work with this guy at steakhouse I used to work at. He was a manager, but bro just kind of like stood around and didn't really help or do anything. And I always wondered like what his position was. Like, he was a manager and he was supposed to be helping with stuff, but he never did. He just kind of like stood around. And outside the steakhouse, there's this balcony that people get to sit on and eat on, because there's like umbrellas that cover the tables that are underneath the umbrellas, and people can eat under there. But the balcony overlooked like this terrace area where there were shops and people, and like this grassy turf area that tourists would sit on, because this was a tourist destination. And a lot of times I would find him standing out there, like looking over the terrace area. And he did this for 40% of his working shift, I feel like. Like, I just look outside and he was standing out there overlooking the balcony. And eventually I was like, I walked up to him, I was like, what are you thinking about, bro? What are we thinking about? And he said, I don't know if you'd want to know, Marley, your brain might explode. I was like, Brody, take me there. Take me there. Great minds think alike. Because I also used to stand over that balcony a lot and look over the terrace and just ponder. Granted, I didn't have that much time, so I'd stand out there for a few minutes at a time and just like take a breath of fresh air from the restaurant. But I've had a couple conversations with him now, and I had a couple conversations with him. He would talk about how much he thought, how much he thinks, and he mentioned many times how he would put himself in like negative feedback loops of thinking and thinking and thinking, but then never getting anywhere. So he was aware of the fact that it wasn't helping him, but couldn't get out of it. And my analysis of that situation is like, that is where it's harmful for you. When you're thinking about things, constantly thinking and never actually getting anywhere with your thoughts. And I feel like that is one of the most harmful feedback loops to be in, because when you think too much, you're using brain power on things that don't actually matter. You're putting your time and energy into imaginary scenarios, things that have never happened and probably will never happen. Chances are, if you're an overthinker, you think about conversations that haven't happened, scenarios and situations that you fantasize about and put yourself in just to imagine what would happen. And I have to admit, it is fun to do that. But, like, what are we getting at? Right? The point I'm trying to make here is, you can only think so much before your thoughts become redundant. And this is where the critical thinking comes in. Cue the critical thinker cap. Hold on, what kind of laugh was that, bro? Why did I laugh like that? Somebody please change my laughing preset, because that's gotta go, man. That's gotta go. Critical thinker. Oh, it's the lighting. Critical thinker. This is where the critical thinking comes in, where we have to use our brains and understand that you can only go so far before you reach the point of no return. Well, no, that's dramatic, but you have to come back and ground yourself in reality again and understand that, what are you doing? Like, can we, what if we stop thinking and then put some of our thoughts into actions and then transmuted our thoughts and brought the things that we wanted into reality? How can we put those thoughts and bring them into reality? Now, that's a whole nother topic of like manifestation and whatnot. But the point is, you can only think so much before your thoughts become redundant. And I've said that like 5 times now, but it's because it's relevant to this topic. This is Celsius, by the way. My favorite freaking drink. The kiwi guava flavor. So good. So good. Anyway, if somebody can count how many times I said, I think I will give you something. That I will give you something, I think. A lot of people think themselves into a loop. And they overthink things to the point where they never actually get anywhere. It's like almost like an analysis paralysis sort of thing. I've dealt with that for my entire life. Just thinking about all the different options, different avenues to take, different pathways in life, almost as if every decision I make was like life or death. And I think that's where it can become a detriment. With all that time you spent thinking, you could have just gone in a direction and found out, figured out if said thing was right for you or not, or if said thing worked out or not. That's another thing too. Dumb people are so successful. There's a lot of dumb successful people out there because they stopped overthinking what they wanted to do and just did it. Like, that's the thing a lot of overthinkers struggle with. They think about the path they're gonna take and they create a plan, this master plan, this grand vision, and then when it comes time to take action, they don't take action because they're more in love with the idea and thinking about it than actually doing it. Right? That's a huge factor in this overthinking thing. If you don't take action, what will happen? Nothing will happen. We need to stop overthinking, guys, because it isn't serving us in any way. It isn't helping us to grow. It's just holding us back, really. And I guarantee there's some points that I'm gonna leave out in this video, rewatch it while I'm editing and be like, damn, I should have said that. But don't fool yourself into thinking that you are doing something by thinking alone, because thinking without action leads to inactivity, leads to nothing, which oftentimes, if it correlates directly to something that you want to do, and you're thinking about something that you want to do and not doing it, leads to cognitive dissonance, which is super painful, because knowing you could have done something and then knowing you didn't do something hurts a lot. That's directly speaking about something that you are looking to achieve or to reach, or a goal that you have in mind. The other overthinking, not really so much, but the overthinking of just thinking thoughts, randomly thoughts. I also find that if you are in a space of overthinking, record it. Record what you were talking about. Record your thoughts. Speak on camera. Because this is a form of journaling. This is helping me to express the way I'm feeling. Even if nobody watches this video, doesn't matter, because I'm still processing and internalizing my thoughts in a way that is beneficial to me. And I can rewatch this later in the future. That way I don't have to sit and ponder, or that way I actually have a funnel to bring my thoughts into video format. Because otherwise they just kind of fester in your brain and they become useless. They become nullified. So yeah, this video is pretty useless. I'm just channeling my inner thoughts and trying to communicate telepathically to you, so that you understand that thinking only goes so far before it becomes redundant, before you have to take action and actually do something. But yeah, let me know what you think of this topic. Genuinely, I have no friends, so literally everyone on YouTube is just like my friends, my family, YouTube family, if you will. So drop me a subscribe if you want to be my friend. Not because I need more validation or subscribers, or okay, I was thinking too much again. Just that's what I'm talking about, like the redundancy of thinking and being too hyper aware of your surroundings. All my overthinkers in this video, go comment something that you overthink about, and yeah, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.